Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm doing a review on the Buka Boxing Luchador fight gloves. So stay tuned. Hey guys, Carlo here, and today I'm doing a review on the Buka Boxing Made in Mexico Luchador FM fight gloves. But before I do the review, if you're looking to learn boxing or maybe just get into shape, make sure you go check out JT at Precision Striking. He has an outstanding boxing channel here on YouTube with over 1 million subscribers. I know it myself because I've been a subscriber to his channel for a few years now and have learned a lot from JT's videos, whether it's from a conditioning standpoint to boxing fundamentals, combination punching, and even strategy, distance control, you name it. JT has all of those videos on his channel. And now he also offers different levels of membership. So if you're looking to take your boxing training a little bit more serious, a little bit further, make sure you go check out his membership levels because you do get member exclusive content that you otherwise wouldn't get on his channel. I'll put the link below in the description box if you're interested in that. Now back onto the review of these gloves. Buka Boxing is actually a company that is based out of Russia. More specifically, I believe it's Uzbekistan. Hopefully I didn't butcher that too badly. I actually got these gloves from Edgar, the boxing collector. Now you can get these through both Edgar and I believe Buka sells these directly. But I've always had a great experience ordering gloves from Edgar, the boxing collector. He specializes in Mexican-made boxing equipment. So again, I'll put his link in the description box so you can check it out there. He has several different great brands you can choose from, and overall just an excellent customer service experience working with Edgar. So I got these Buka Boxing gloves from him. These are the Luchadors. These are handmade in Mexico. I got mine in this metallic red, black, and gold colorway, 8 ounces. It's a lace-up only glove, obviously, because it is a pro fight glove. I believe you can also get these in 10 ounces. And these Luchador models are kind of like a boutique model, if you want to call it. They don't make them in large amounts, and each colorway that you can get is basically like a custom colorway because they don't make 8 and 10 ounce pairs of this same red, black, and gold colorway in several different pairs. They basically make them in small batches and then they sell them, and then they come out with kind of a new different colorway. And that's kind of the trend with a lot of these Mexican boutique companies, where they don't always come out with the same colorways. With Grant has always had that red, black, and white and that black, red, and white colorway. That's been their kind of like their standard colorway that Grant is known for. And then above that, you can pay more money to go with custom colorways, where these smaller boutique brands, they just kind of come out. It's almost like a seasonal thing where they only come out with certain colorways. It's just depending on what they have and what they feel like, quite frankly, what they feel like making at the time. So you can see it's full genuine leather construction, handcrafted in Mexico. Definitely reminds me of the other Mexican-made fight gloves I've done a review on, like the Leaders USA fight gloves, the No Boxing, No Life. Very similar cut, feel, and profile of the glove with those other brands. You can see that the metallic red looks really clean on here. It does have kind of that grainy, wrinkly feel to it. The foam they use in here is a combination between foam and horsehair. The Buka Boxing logo is in gold on the back of the glove. You also have Buka Boxing, it says Luchador FM Pro Fight Gloves, made in Mexico at the bottom. One thing I like about this is that they put that patent leather, it's laminated over the actual cloth patch. So it has kind of that plastic feel, and that is a flat wrist support cuff. The 8 ounce tag is also underneath that clear plastic laminate that they put over that, but feels really nice and smooth and soft as well. You do have that black thumb, the stitching that separates the black from the metallic red. A metallic red attached thumb, a really nice large grip bar on the inside, ventilated holes on the thumb but nothing on the palm or near the grip bar. You do have black piping, double stitching throughout, and nice long flat black laces with plastic tips. The back of the wrist support, I'd say, is about maybe 1 inch in thickness of the wrist support, and the inside wrist support is maybe about 1/8 of an inch of medium density foam. One thing I did also want to mention is this pair that I got from Edgar. He did mention to me that there were several imperfections with the gloves, and not to, I guess you can say that these are very representative of the Buka Boxing Luchador model. So I did want to put that out there, that these gloves were not perfect when I got them. So I had to kind of adjust that grading scale because of that. But I did really want this colorway, and I really wanted to try Buka Boxing, and that's why we ended up pulling the trigger with these. So, but overall, you can see the glove is very beautiful. I love the metallic red. I'm waiting for this to start to break down like I've had with all of my other metallic gloves. It's just kind of comes with the territory with metallic colors. They tend to wear out quicker, especially over the strike surface compared to solid colors that take a lot longer to wear out, but I'm kind of waiting for that. Quality-wise, these gloves are pretty good, all things considered. The weight's pretty much on point. I believe they weighed in like at 7.9 ounces. The leather's held up well. One area that I was really concerned with, and again, I know Edgar had mentioned it to me, was this actually wasn't torn all the way through when I first got them. I had to use them several times, and eventually the actual stitching ended up kind of ripping down here at the bottom. So again, that might just be kind of a one-off with my pair, but I do have some tearing right there. Everything else with the glove is pretty nice overall. You know, you can see the stitching where the index finger meets the thumb. Right in this corner, you can see the stitching is kind of exposed right there. The leather is held up really nicely. I haven't had any issues with the actual leather itself. You know, some of the stitching right here on the thumb. One thing you'll notice with these Mexican gloves, you typically have this little fold and crease right here at this point, and that's kind of where the foam starts to turn in. So you'll notice that there's oftentimes with these gloves right here on this thumb, there's a little bit of bunching, and that's kind of a repeat occurrence I've seen in other Mexican fight gloves that have kind of this wrinkle and this bunching effect right here on this middle portion of the inner side of the thumb. So just something I've noticed, just because they kind of bundle up the leather and then they kind of go through with a sewing machine and stitch it through. You know, palm side looks good. Grip bar is really done well. The symmetry on the stitching is done really nicely. You can see the glove, it's pretty well balanced. It's not a very top heavy glove. And again, there's not a lot of emphasis on wrist support because it is a fight glove. The outside edge looks pretty good. Right there, the stitching. Again, kind of pulling right there, and on that side doesn't look bad. And you can notice that it has two types of colored stitching, and I don't know if that's intentional or if they just ran out. So you notice that the thumb is red, and then the rest of the stitching is black. I'd probably venture on the side that that's part of the design, just to kind of give it that contrast, the red and the black, since you have the metallic red around the thumb and on the back of the glove. So that's my best guess, but there is two different colors of threads. Doesn't bother me at all, but something worth mentioning. So comfort wise, sliding your hand into the glove, extremely comfortable, like I would expect from a Mexican style fight glove. Excellent thumb. You'll notice that the thumb is nice and deep. Even when you make a fist, it doesn't pull on down on the tip of the thumb. The thumb has a good amount of foam on the back, but it's not too thick to where you feel like your thumb is being pushed down on and you're kind of like losing the circulation on your thumb. Same thing with the piping around the fat part of the bottom part of your thumb. No issues there. Feels nice and comfortable, especially with hand wraps on. Wrist support feels good for a fight glove. Nice grip bar size. That's one thing I do love, is the grip bar is nice and big, so you can really feel it when you roll your hand up into a fist. And you can see that the glove is super broken in from the get-go. I mean, obviously I've been using these, but even before I started using them, you can open and close your hand with relative ease. There's really no resistance there, and that feels really good. The inside liner on the gloves is a standard polyester nylon liner, and you also have the round tag on the inside as well. I forgot to show that to you guys. So again, if this is your use for an actual sanctioned fight, then the commission will mark off how many rounds the fight went, and then after that we'll consider the fights to be, their gloves should I say, to be no longer approved for a sanctioned bout. Another thing I noticed too also is the logo peeling a little bit right there on the back of the glove. So again, that's something also that I've noticed with certain Cleto Reyes gloves, is that peeling of the logo. So that's another quality issue. And again, I know I mentioned earlier that Edgar did say that there was some imperfection with the gloves, but overall extremely comfortable. It's probably the best feature of this glove. Second best feature is going to be the performance. This is a foam and horsehair glove. That's what happens when you try to say two words at once. A foam and horsehair glove. So you could use it for bag work. This is really a great glove more for mid work. You can use it for bag work. I would recommend using it for a bag that is not as like dense as this this ProLast bag. Go with something softer filled, both from the perspective of trying to prevent yourself from injuring your hands. You can, it's really up to you, it's subjective. Some people have hand injuries that are nagging. It'll go away and then they hit the bag and it reactivates that or re-aggravates that injury. So just be mindful. You can use this for bag work, but because of that foam and horsehair consistency, you definitely get a good amount of feedback. Your knuckles sink through. You get excellent pop with these. And you can really feel that shot go through. Nice flat punch surface, but you can definitely feel the shock from the power that's transmitting through whatever your target may be. So do be cognizant of that you will feel the shot, but it feels great. You get that excellent feeling that you're connecting, and I love the way it feels. Another thing is going to be durability. You know, obviously it's a foam and horsehair glove, so if you're going to use it primarily just for bag work, this definitely won't last as long as a glove that's intended for training, for hitting bags. So like a conventional bag glove that has more foam, gel padding, whatever it may be, that's typically going to last a lot longer, just because the foam is created to take the, I guess you could say, additional rounds, but just take the abuse that a fight glove isn't designed to do. And again, that's not to say you can't use this for bag work. A lot of pros like to use this because they like to feel the precision in the glove. They love the way it feels. They use it for speed, and if they're going to use the same brand and model for their upcoming fight, it allows them to kind of get used to the feel of the glove, so when they get into the fight, they're already kind of broken into the feel of that model of that particular glove. So that's why sometimes you see the pros using their fight gloves during training prior to their fight coming up, because they're trying to get their hands used to it from both a comfort standpoint and just how the padding feels when they land on their target. But overall, I love the way these perform. I love that combination of the foam and horsehair. It's just one of those specific things that I personally prefer when it comes to training. Cost-wise, once you convert this to the US dollar, these gloves are $183 US, which is a little bit on the high side, considering that there's other gloves kind of in the same realm, made in Mexico, like the leaders. There's No Boxing, No Life, which are overpriced now, which are too expensive. But I'd say that this is max like $140 to $150 glove when they're perfect. So even with the without the imperfections, I'd say that they're anywhere between $140 to $150, just because the gap has really narrowed when it comes to Mexican-made fight gloves like this. There's a lot of companies that offer them. All you're doing is kind of getting a rebranded product, but it's essentially the same thing. Really boils down to is your budget, and even aesthetics. Some people love certain logos more than other brands. Some people might like the way this Buka Boxing logo looks compared to the Leaders USA logo, and they're like, you know, I'll spend the extra $30 because I like the way the Buka looks, or they like the colorways more. So maybe it's essentially the same glove from a design standpoint, but they want a metallic red or they want a metallic blue, and at that time, this company is the only company that offers that colorway. So there's a couple things that kind of, you know, kind of give you a little bit of leeway when you're trying to make your decision. Availability is another one. Some gloves may not be available for several months, or if they're being sold from overseas, it might take a long time for them to be received here in the United States or wherever you're located. So all things to consider, but again, I'd say from a price standpoint, these are about a $140 to $150 glove max, but they currently retail for $183 from the Boxing Collector. So if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys leave them down below in the comments box. Put a link in the description box. We can find these Buka Boxing Luchador FM fight gloves. I'll see you guys later. Take care.